Wrestling Open officials have not said that's the case, and that's not happening.
So we see how this stuff works in pro wrestling all the time.
This is Wrestling Open. It's different. As Alec Price.
I don't know. That gives me an idea, Paul. That gives me an idea. All right, though, nevertheless, a straight-up one-on-one contest. You said just for bragging rights between two of the best upstarts on the independent wrestling scene today. Talk about two guys that made the most of the pandemic era of professional wrestling. A first-time ever encounter between Alec Price, who hates the Worms of Worcester, as he's dubbed them, our great fans here at the White Eagle, against Marcus Mathers, who, you know, he's not coming from the Southeast, he's coming from South Jersey, but look how he's endeared himself to the crowd here at the White Eagle.
Showing off the arrogance. He is in his home ballpark, as it were. He knows he's at home defending his turf, and he took to social media and said, Marcus Mathers, you want to talk all that trash on social media? Well, I'm sick of it, and I'm going to put my foot through your skull. We will see if Alec Price can do that here against Mathers.
Alec Price has had an incredible run for the past 4 months.
Collar and elbow tie up here. Price and Mathers really going after it, not breaking that hold quite yet. Shoulders down from Mathers, kips up in the collar and elbow tie up.
I think his biggest victory may have come against Ricky Shane Page back at Beyond Wrestling Reverse the Curse in November. Of course, the replay available on IWTV. It's really been off to the races for Alec Price since then.
I mean, who hasn't he beat? Matt Taven, Chris Dickinson, Ricky Shane Page. Defeated Love Dug in episode 1, Kylon King, Flash Waller. I mean, he is on the roll of a lifetime, and he rolls through over into those turnbuckles as Mathers showing his athletic abilities early on.
And now Price, he doesn't have his baddie in the corner for the next few months. We see Becca, congratulations to her. She's going to be competing for WXW in Germany, some other organizations in Europe. But we know Price can get it done on his own. That's what frustrates me when you see a competitor like Price that bends the rules. And sometimes it's not because they got it, it's just because they want to. I think that's disrespectful. Mathers might be looking to go for a dive. No, Price is out of the way.
Price moving out of the way. As he goes to the apron, does Mathers. There's a kick, and Price is down. He went wobbly leg there. Mathers might have caught all of that.
Could we see Alec Price face defeat here tonight against Mr. IWTV?
But Price roped him in. He knew exactly what direction he was going in, and there's a double
so
stomp.
Much range, Paul. He's got so much range with those long limbs. And he's so agile, he can compress his body just to explode with a double stomp like that.
Caving in the chest of Marcus Mathers on that double stomp is Alec Price. Calling everyone here in Worcester garbage.
I think sometimes, you know how sometimes the wrestlers feed off the endearment from the crowd? I think he feeds off the negativity. I think he likes to create a hostile environment.
He's a psychopath, and he thrives in insanity. So to your point, that could be true. He may want everybody to be on his case, as he is on the case of Mathers here at Wrestling Open.
And over the past couple of weeks, dubbing himself the Dream Killer, right? He's trying to make sure that if all these new wrestlers are coming to Wrestling Open to make the most of the platform, that nobody's making the most of it more than him. He wants to stay on top.
Shoulders down. Mathers face first into that turnbuckle, and there's a big boot from Alec Price.
You know, for years we heard the term thrown around at Beyond Wrestling without a traditional championship. Who's the ace of Beyond Wrestling? And I think it would be hard to argue against the fact that Alec Price is the ace of Wrestling Open.
Shoulders down, only a 1 count. Mathers has been so impressive, whether it be in New Jersey or whatever state he has been traveling to lately to try to show what he can do, especially here in Massachusetts as well during the Restival. So he has been really trying to make a name for himself. Can you imagine the name he would make if he beats Alec Price in Worcester tonight.
Right, and like you said, Mascot, Massachusetts for H2O Wrestling. He was supposed to wrestle Alec Shelley for the independent wrestling title. That was when he was going to be cashing in his briefcase. Instead, going one-on-one with Anthony Green. And you got to think, to have your opponent changed up on that short of notice, it's a completely different strategy. Still picking up the win shows that Marcus Mathers may not be the future. He may be the right now.
Forearm shots. He is really letting loose against Price here. He knows this is his moment and opportunity to make a huge name for himself and to live up to the name Mr. IWTV. Knee to the jaw.
What's he looking for right here?
Tries to pick him up, maybe a pile driver.
Price holding on though. He's got that head hook. Marcus is in trouble. Oh,
the back of the head connects to the knee.
Yeah, that's knockout central, Paul.
But Mathers able to get that shoulder up. Price showing a lot of frustration. Look at that insane look in his eyes. Out of his skull is Alec Price, but that is what drives him. That is what makes him so dangerous and unpredictable.
Forearm to the side of the head, and now a knee right to the spinal column.
Grinding that head into the mat is Alec Price from Marcus Mathers. You mentioned this earlier. That's not going to get you a victory, but it's really going to pick away at your opponent.
Boy, him and Brother Greatness, they're like two peas in a pod. Neither of them ever shut up. They should have a talk show.
Well, IWTV, I'm sure, will sign that one up as Mathers with the elbows to the midsection of Price, and there's a slap across the face from the prize. And another one. Well, he asked for it.
Yeah, be
he
careful
got
what
it.
you wish for. But sometimes you do this to get your opponent so riled up that they start making mistakes. You're going to be careful not to get knocked out in the process. But Mathers ran all the way across the ring just to get with that big boot. Again, the range of Alec Price from these strikes. Very few can match it in professional wrestling. Very long limbs. It's almost like Dalsim from Street Fighter. Oh, look at that spinning soul butt to the face and turning him inside out.
You said it, Street Fighter. He pulled one out from that video game, followed up with the lariat, but does not have enough energy to get over and make the cover. But he is really making a lot of fans here tonight at the White Eagle.
This could be Price's night to lose. Marcus Mathers' night to win. Everybody watching worldwide on IWTV, of course, we thank you for your support. If you can ever get to Worcester, Massachusetts, every single Thursday night at 8 o'clock.
Missed. Mathers didn't. Has Price teed up in the corner. Flying forearm. Back elbow.
He's going to be careful with these combinations, though. He's got to make sure that he's accurate and that there's a lot of strength behind him.
Kick to the jaw.
Well, that was a great move. You got your opponent out of the corner. You got him in the center of the ring. You got the leg
one.
one.
Count of one.
Night is just getting started for Alec Price. This guy can go all night.
But we only have a 10-minute time limit here in this contest. Price, use of those 20-minute time limits as he has been in the main event at Wrestling Open. Sits out with the powerbomb.
I don't think we're going to get there, Paul.
Price popping out. He needed to use so much energy to get out of that pinning predicament. We know he has an endless gas tank, but Mathers is putting it to the test.
Well, I hate to sound like a broken record, but again, the longer limbs of Alec Price, I think if Mathers was able to get his heels across the shoulders, he could have kept Price down, but he didn't really have good coverage. And now, this is a bit of an unusual attack. I think it's going to come back to cost him. I spoke too soon.
Into the ace crusher.
Price was all discombobulated there.
Shoulder up again from the prize.
And to my point, I don't think he realized how close he was to the ropes because he could have just gotten his foot on the rope. Instead, having to expend the extra energy. And Marcus Mathers is going for something big right here, but he cannot get Price where he wants him in the corner.
Forearm from Mathers at a standing position in the center of the ring. This
maybe
is
a pile driver, maybe a powerbomb, Paul.
We shall see. Back elbow from Price.
He just can't keep him hooked. Mathers, as best as he tries, Price is just...
Went for the ripcord Inzagiri. Instead, Mathers has him gripped tight from behind.
Still, again, he just can't get the right grip on Price. Another kick, this time it makes the side of the skull. Could he have him knocked out? Up into the torture rack.
Has him up in the rack.
This is a stick-up move.
Oh, that's a nasty landing, and I do have it on good knowledge that that's actually how Dustin Waller
Hooks the
broke
leg.
his foot.
We have 1 minute left.
All right, here we go. It's crunch time.
This is crunch time. Here we go. Alec Price needs to stop pulling at his hair and go after it here. 45 seconds or so
You
remain
only
here.
got so much time to put it together before this one's going to end in a draw.
He needs to really go for a pinfall here.
Bunch of strikes to the back of the head.
30 seconds left in the match.
Here we
Looking
go.
for that surprise kick.
Gonna go for it. Catches him. Boston
Oh,
Crab.
that's a great counter.
Boston Crab. Is
Price
this
going to
it?
be able to hold on. Is Mathers going to be able to pick up the submission victory?
Here we go. Rolls through. No.
10 seconds.
Here we go. 10 seconds.
Oh,
Grand
drove him on his
prize.
head.
Grand prize. He got it. Alec Price with just seconds left, picking up the victory.
Time of the fall, 9 minutes, 59
Wow. Talk about a buzzer beater, Paul. Wow.
The prize, Alec Price.
With 1 second left in this contest, Alec Price pulls out the grand prize and gets the victory here in episode 5.
Well, the people here at Worcester throwing money in the ring.
But what an unbelievable display. Alec Price showing why he has a great point in saying that he is the ace.
Well, I think a lot of people thought that Alec Price was going to be going one-on-one with Biff Busick tomorrow night at day 91.